Yo, top of the morning, man. Top of the morning. It's really, really early in the morning right now. By the time I post this, it's not gonna be early, but of course, I don't ever do live videos. I'm gonna start doing them more, but right now, it's all pre-recorded. So it is early in the morning right now. I'm on my way to my first training session. I got a few today. I got about 4 training sessions, and they were running hills this afternoon. So it's gonna be a busy morning, but after that, get to chill, relax a little bit. So definitely the mornings right now, since the summer has started, is definitely the most busiest time of my schedule. So yeah, that's basically what I got going on my plate. But let's get started with the video, man. Let's get started with the video. I haven't done a Spurs video in a while on purpose because I've been wanting to sit back and see how everything plays out. Tomorrow is the NBA draft. There's a lot of speculation. Will we trade up? Will we stay put? Yada, yada, right? Here's my final opinion. Hopefully nothing happens before this video gets posted. As of right now, nothing has happened yet. Should we trade up? If you would have asked me this question maybe 6 months ago during the season, and, of course, the answer would be, trying to trade up to get Paolo, I would say yes. As of today, I've changed my mind. It's nothing against Paolo. Nothing against Paolo. I think Paolo's going to be a very, very good player. And I think Spurs fans better hope that he doesn't land in Houston. Because if he lands in Houston, the Houston Rockets has potential to be the second coming of the young OKC Thunder when Durant and Westbrook and Harden and Ibaka got there. Because that's how much young talent that team is going to have if they get Paolo. Next to Jalen Green and Kevin Porter and Josh Christopher and all that good young stuff they got over there. So that's one place I would hate to see Paolo go, but there is a high possibility he goes there. But anyway, back to the Spurs. I say no. And the reason why I say no is because of what else we have to give up to get that pick. And I'm just not, right as of today, right now, I'm just not sold on us getting rid of Devin Vassell or a Keldon Johnson. I'm not with it, man. I know you got to give up something to get something, but I'm not with that. And the reason why I'm not with that is because I just really think that Keldon and Devin are going to hit their strides within the next year or two. It could be next year. It could be next 2 years for Devin. It could be right away next year. I don't know what it's going to be, but I just see something in both of those guys, along with, of course, Murray and also Josh Primo. Those four, to me, will we be able to keep and hold these guys together for the rest of their career? Odds are no. But, man, to have these guys right now, I would just love to see what they develop into. I'm really high on all four of them. I think we got to get us a stronger front court for sure to support that. But man, I'm not sure on getting rid of a Devin Vassell and a number 9 pick, or a Keldon Johnson and a number 9 pick to get a top 3 pick, or even get that number 4 spot. The only thing I would say is if the Spurs are willing to do that as an organization, they must see if they're willing to do that and give up the 9th pick with that, that means they see a really, really good franchise player. I mean, remember how some of us Spurs fans, including myself, was when they decided to trade George Hill for Kawhi. I was not at the time. I'm going to be honest. At the time, I was not the biggest fan of that trade at that time. Of course, we didn't know what Kawhi was going to turn into. We knew what George Hill was for us, and we knew how Tony Parker looked in that Memphis Grizzlies series in 2011. So looking at how Parker looked in that series and then looking at a young George Hill, at that time, it was like, man, maybe we should hold on to Hill because Parker's going on a decline. That was my thinking. But Turned out to be a pretty good trade for Spurs. Actually, a steal for Spurs. I guarantee you Indiana definitely regrets that trade. Can you imagine Kawhi? Kawhi and Paul George could have been together back then. They're playing together now, but they could have been together from the start, if that trade would have never happened, if you really think about it. So, but anyways, man, if the Spurs are willing to make that trade, that means that they are really sold on something. And I don't even know if it's Paolo, because trying to trade I think Paolo's going top 3. So the fact that they're trying to get number 4 tells me that it's not Paolo who they may be trying to get. It might be somebody else. But like I said, I don't want to end up being wrong with this, but as of today, right now, I haven't seen none of the rookies in the NBA game yet. None of them, even Paolo. We can make speculation on who's going to be good, but we still don't know. But what I do know is I really like the upside of a Keldon Johnson or a Devin Vassell. So today, I would not probably be the biggest fan of a trade that involves any of those 4 players. Anything outside of those 4, I get it. We got to give up something. But, man, Murray, Primo, Vassell, and Keldon, man, I feel like that's our little young core in the making, man. I just feel like that's what we got to build around. You know what I'm saying? I see it now. I'm starting to see that, that is the 4 we probably should be focusing on building around. Put some front court players around those 4 and let's roll. But we'll see, man. The draft is tomorrow. We'll see what the Spurs decide to do. We know the Spurs are a little unpredictable. Will they keep all 3 first-round picks? That's interesting as well, because I don't see 3 first-round rookies helping us. Maybe the first pick, maybe somebody drops to them at 20 or 25. But we know the Spurs' MO. If they're not as good as DeJounte, or not even DeJounte Murray, if they're not as good as Kawhi Leonard or Devin Vassell, they're going straight to Austin. We know that. That's been, so us getting this excited over any rookie is kind of hard, because we know how the Spurs do. And it's not wrong for them to do that, because it does work. But for me, I'm just kind of like, we're at a point where we kind of do need to start showing some progress, because you don't want to be in the same spot for 3-4 straight years, and you got an young emerging all-star in DeJounte Murray. You might want to start showing some progress to keep him happy. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of teams. Every time teams look to make a trade, it's not that the Spurs are shopping him around, but isn't it frustrating to see how they flip these storylines to get clickbaits by saying, oh, so-and-so is interested in DeJounte Murray. They never tell you the Spurs are shopping him. They tell you, hey, so-and-so wants Murray, or so-and-so is interested in Murray. So we know off just those things alone that Murray's name is hot. There's a lot of teams that may feel like DeJounte is the missing link for them becoming a really good competitive team. Like, you can't tell me a team like Phoenix, even though they got Chris Paul, but as far as going forward, you can't tell me that a team like Phoenix doesn't look at a DeJounte Murray and say, man, if we had that dude, we'll be set. You know what I'm saying? Or even some of our rivals like Dallas. Like, I know they got Luka, but you can't tell me that Mark Cuban doesn't look at a DeJounte Murray and say, man, if I had him to put in the backcourt next to Luka, we'll be ready to kind of, give the Warriors all we can got. Not saying they'll beat them, but my point is, there's a lot of teams that be all over DeJounte Murray. So I feel like the Spurs got to start showing some progress, man, to make him feel like, he can get it done in San Antonio, because you can tell Murray is a winner. He hasn't won yet, but you can tell his mindset is winner. Just look at how, look at the tweets, when the playoffs go on. That dude wants a part of being on a winning team. So he knows we have the history, but it's about what you do right now. And hopefully the Spurs can put together a roster that makes not only him, but all of our young talent feel like, we can get it done. I think this year they may do that. It's going to really go down to the offseason. It's going to start with tomorrow, what they do in the draft. I think what they do in the draft is really going to dictate how the rest of this offseason is going to go for San Antonio. Me, in the perfect world, man, we signed DeAndre Ayton, but It's the competition for Ayton is going to be stiff, man. And another key thing to look at, man, if DeAndre Ayton goes to the Pelicans, bro, they might jump over a lot of damn teams next year. I don't even want to think about how that's going to look with a DeAndre Ayton out there next to Brandon Ingram and CJ McCollum and whatever they get from Zion. If Zion is anything close to what he showed in that small sample size, with Ingram and CJ McCollum out there and adding a DeAndre Ayton, we might be looking at, I mean, it's going to sound weird, but we might be looking at the best team in the West that can compete with the Warriors. I know it's on paper, but, man, that's a lot of young firepower if they get DeAndre Ayton, man. Pelicans. So, man, I'm hoping that's another one. You know, I'm looking at our division, man. Our division is, we already got Memphis and Dallas to deal with. Man, if Houston gets Paolo and the Pelicans get Ayton, man, I'm gonna start getting really anxious and nervous, man. Like, man, can we do something, man? Look at our competition out here. You know what I'm saying? We gotta get something. We gotta get something, man. So I don't know if Spurs fans are looking at it the same way, but I'm looking at that like, man, if Pelicans get Ayton and the Rockets do draft Paolo, man, we gotta, just in our division alone, man, we gotta do something. So we'll see how this offseason goes. We'll see how the draft goes tomorrow. You never know, man. I will say the Spurs have draft. They've not missed with one draft yet. I can say the only draft pick that they've missed was probably the Luka pick. But I've always said with that Luka pick, because we got Keldon in that same year, just program yourself to switch the picks. Let's just pretend Keldon was drafted 19 and Luka was drafted 29, because they was drafted in the same year. Because we did hit a home run with Keldon. So we still haven't missed with a draft pick year by year, probably since Tim Duncan retired. You know what I'm saying? Even Derek White, guys that didn't stay with us were still home runs for it. Kyle Anderson, all those guys, you know, we still drafted pretty well. So I don't see that changing, especially with us having 3 cracks at it. It doesn't matter where we get. I mean, we drafted Keldon at the end of the first round. So it doesn't matter where we draft. I think we'll find quality in wherever we draft. Which is why I'm like, man, don't trade the picks, man. We can still find a franchise player, because a lot of teams that pick ahead of us, no offense, but a lot of teams that pick ahead of us have no history of drafting well in the past 10 years. So somebody's going to make a mistake. Somebody's going to fall at 9. Somebody may fall to us at 20 and 25. So history is going to tell us that we're going to have a chance to get somebody really, really good. So let's see what we do. But that's my Spurs video today. I know it's been a while. I want to make sure I keep my Spurs subscribers somewhat satisfied. Man, it's an exciting time. Here it is, man. Let's see, can we make a good offseason that puts us back in the glory years, or at least have us taking a step towards the glory years. I think this offseason we definitely can do that. So let's see how the draft goes, man, and let's keep our ears to the streets with these rumors, with the trades and everything else, to see if we will be staying put or we will be trading up to get a higher pick. Stay tuned. Other than that, I'm going to get my busy day started. Like, comment, subscribe. We out.